Kyle's in the building. Aaron's in the building. Appreciate you guys. Uzzle's drinking water. Gina's playing on the phone.
Yeah.
And
Make sure it's
Appreciate y'all being patient with me. There's a lot. Can you hit that light?
Bam.
Boom. Yeah.
Oh, no. Yep, there you go. Fuck it. Let's run it. Hey, Aaron, Mr. DJ. I need a new mix. Yeah. Thank you, sir. You got a lot of shit working on, man. Redeem Yourself podcast. The trio is back. Gina, Justin, and myself. Hope y'all ready to rock, because we are. Let that vibe out. All right. We are live. How y'all doing this evening? It's late. Different time for us to be recording again, but I enjoy the switch up. 9 o'clock on a Monday. Starting to my right. Gina, what's going on? How are you?
good.
Tired, but good.
Fuck off. I am. Whenever I record, I am.
Yo, that was the quickest check-in ever. Now to you, Justin.
I'm great. Happy to be here.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's it?
God damn.
How about you, Jared? Jared,
Yo, I'm
tell
good.
us everything.
I'm fucking awesome too. Shit. Like, let me just take up some space here. Check in. When did we record? Last Sunday? Mm-hmm. This week. I don't really know.
Yeah, it's like been a blur. And I haven't done shit.
I want to congratulate my Philadelphia Eagles for getting to the NFC Championship. That's fucking awesome. We haven't been there since 2017. I'm a big football fan. I want to go to that game. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to drop the coins or not to do it yet.
So who they be playing?
We'll be playing the San Francisco 49ers in Philadelphia this coming Sunday.
That's a wild sports park. Like, all 4 stadiums are right in the same parking lot.
Yes, sir.
It's just kind of crazy.
But it's a great time. You been there?
To Philly? Yes. Not to a game or anything.
I went
Just
to a
a-
bar in Philly while it was snowing. It was amazing.
I went to a bunch of bars.
Oh, now y'all want to
That's
check
when you
in.
come into the city and you see the stadium right as you're.
Yeah, right on Broad Street. That's
my buddy-
everything.
My buddy used to
It
live in
was a
South
million years.
Philly.
I went and I drank with a Catholic priest who wasn't a Catholic priest anymore.
All right. What? Wait.
Yeah,
You can
he was
do
a
that?
business associate. Was up there for business.
A former
with my ex-husband.
Catholic priest.
Yeah.
How do you wait? I thought once you were in that life,
I don't
you was
know.
just in that life.
I don't know. I just remember I was at a bar in Philly. It was snowing. It was really cool because it
No,
was like a dark
I don't
bar.
think that's how it works.
He
You
probably
get a little
lied.
kid, they're not going to call
That's
you
what
a priest
I'm
no
thinking
more.
too. Now that I'm older and wiser, not in my early 20s, I'm like, he diddled somebody for sure.
All right.
But like they'll let you slide with like fucking a bunch of people's old ladies.
Oh shit, yo.
I mean, they don't say shit about that ever.
Is that how it works? In
A lot of those fucking churches. Yes.
Listen, if you're a Catholic and listening, we love you.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on here.
That's how like these
But-
cult followings start and shit.
Philadelphia. So
So I went to a bar in Philly called the Khyber. It was $10. It's called the theme of the night was called "Kill Your Liver," and $10 to get in
Jesus.
is all you can drink.
What?
Yeah,
What a fucking riot.
it was the wildest shit.
Where did you end up? Now you gotta spill it.
Dude, I made it out. I puked on the way. Oh, yeah, dude, it was wild. We walked home, ate some fucking China. I don't know. It was fucked up. I was fucked up.
Was it a
I was
bar?
like,
Or,
yeah, it was a
were
bar.
you-
It was
Who
in
was
South
it?
Philly.
That was you, but I think that was in North Carolina. You said it was kind of the same thing, and you were at like a pool party.
No, that was in Charlotte,
Yeah, North Carolina.
and that was not like a bar. That was like in the middle of an apartment complex.
Just a rager.
Just a
Motherfuckers
rager.
started going at it.
Yeah, they fucking that's a whole another thing. But this was literally a bar. You walked in, it's like an old Irish pub, but then you go upstairs and they had a DJ, right? You pay $10 at that top of those steps, and they let you in, and it was all you can drink.
For $10.
for $10. All the real liquors in the house.
Man.
You know how
sounds-
fucked up I got. I don't think
Could
y'all
only imagine, buddy.
No, I don't think y'all understand.
Help me understand. How was it?
Uh,
Take us through the timeline. You got there. What was the last thing you remember?
Eating Chinese food and pissing on the street. In fucking South Philly. What the fuck? You get beat up for some shit like that. It was wild.
Oh, that sounds wild.
Yeah, and then the day before, we went and saw Converge play in a basement of a church. First what was it?
Wait.
There's a church up there where they play all the metal bands play. It's like what's the non-denomination church? What's that called? It's just it's a real thing. It's like seriously
yeah, I mean,
huge.
I know there's a bunch of them. I don't know. You know, Kyle? Y'all can talk. Y'all realize that, right? You don't.
No.
You don't. If you know the answer to those questions,
I'll tell you.
though, that's kind of odd that a metal band is playing in the basement of a church
That's where
they like. Yeah,
No, it's like a non-denomination.
Unitarianism?
Yeah, for Unitarian. First
Unitarian.
Unitarian Church of Philadelphia or some shit like that.
so you went to that the night before.
It was
and then-
fucking dope. Convert. That shit was awesome. Saw Floor Punch. But it's
Floor
like known.
Punch.
Yeah, like these hardcore bands, like punk rock bands.
That's a wild ass name, yo. Floor Punch.
And they were part of this crew called FSU for Fuck Shit Up. But they had like a documentary. They beat up Moby. The DJ?
Wait, the bald head guy,
like
the bald head quiet guy.
Yeah.
That, why would you beat him up? What?
it's First Presbyterian Church.
Oh,
Wait.
it's a whole Presbyterian church.
This church sounds like a gimmick.
Right?
The second one.
You only ever see first. It's true.
All right, yo. We fucked off for like 10 minutes.
I mean,
You mean what?
this is the show, actually. Holy shit. I didn't know it was online.
That's the show you went to? Sorry, viewers. YouTube and the video.
Holy shit.
Bro,
This is in 2003.
there's nothing happening.
Like, people are standing on, like, the speakers. It was just...
Bro, God was pissed off at all of y'all for being in there, being hoodlums.
Alrighty, so I think a good topic that
awesome.
was
I wanted to watch
brought
this
up
later.
beforehand was acceptance
Look at this wild shit.
and the variations that plays throughout recovery that we get accustomed to. For
It's a fucking train wreck. I'm distracted. Y'all can all suck my asshole.
No.
So
Sorry, Gina.
acceptance, I think it was super important. I think early on, not accepting that I had a problem was why I continued to have a problem. And once I was able to accept that there was something going on with me, I was able to identify it in order to formulate a plan to understand that I needed help, because that was really, really hard. I like to, the very idea that anything was wrong with me or that I wasn't fine. I think that was such a difficult decision for me, and I don't know why. I remember the very first time I identified in a meeting, I could just feel my heart racing, and it was just bizarre, the whole experience. But that was really, really pivotal. And I know throughout recovery, we learn to accept the things we can, that we cannot change as it goes, and many things that we have to let go, and we have to show up and keep our side of the street clean. And it's not, it evolves. It's no longer just, accepting that I'm an addict or an alcoholic. It's also accepting that I'm a mom with grown kids and letting them have to live out their life, accepting that I don't like my ex-husband and how I'm going to operate around him.
Common theme on this
Accept
podcast.
how I'm going to operate in my job. I mean, acceptance is really huge.
accepting the consequences of your actions. Like the holes that you've dug in your alcoholism. Like accepting you have no control. I mean, it's a lot. It attacks all parts of your life. Of like accepting, I'm willing to make a change. I'm accepting I have no control of my life anymore. Like that's what happened with me. I was like, I'm out of control. This is how do you put it? Like, I have to reach out something beyond myself because I can't do it myself. I have to accept what I've done is not working. It's a lot. I remember walking into the room that fucking, like, my heart's racing. I know this is going to be good, but I'm fucking terrified. My life's changing. I don't want it, but I do want it. And it's like, man.
Let me ask y'all both the question. It's like, you attended AANA meetings?
Uh-huh.
You did as well?
Hey, man.
That's where I ran a Cecil. Was that?
Oh, really?
Meeting? Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know that. Well, all right. So, when we talk about, what was the topic?
Acceptance.
Acceptance. I almost said like unmanageability, but I don't even think that's a word. So,
It is. It's part of recovery.
unmanageability.
As well.
Let me put that in the bag for later use. Along with toes and feet or whatever the fuck the name of the pod was. What was it?
Toes and lap dances.
Toes and lap dances.
Nope.
Toes and lap dances.
Nope.
But in the rooms, right? When you entered your first...
As the white delegation, I denounce.
Get the fuck out of here.
Isn't that what he says on the racial draft?
They start drafting people.
The white delegation.
That was clutch. That was clutch. Who you trading me to? And then I'll get back to my question.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing what? Only toes? Bro, we're sending you off. You're going with the Karens and the Kyles.
Oh, man. Kyle.
Sorry,
just traded you, bro. All right. So, walking into the room,
We
right?
accept Tiger Woods.
Oh, shit. That was good. That was good. Classic.
Yeah.
All right. So when you walked into the rooms, right, and you felt that, like, odd kind of, like, heart racing feeling, both of y'all just described, like, back to back. How difficult was it at that point to accept that moment in time and looking forward to what you were about to get into? Because it was unknown and unfamiliar, right?
Very unknown, very unfamiliar. I had been sober 3 months, and I was actually, it was after I was picked up by the U.S. Marshals and brought into jail, that I was in jail, part of the program, that I attended my first NA meeting.
So you actually listened when you was in there.
So it was the weirdest thing to just look around the circle of girls, women, and in this room and realize, okay, here I am, and this is the first time I'm going to utter, hi, I'm Gina, I'm an addict, and it was just the weirdest thing because I'd kind of been doing my own thing, and, to get to that point, I had to understand that there was more to the story that I needed to delve into, and so, I did it. And I followed up.
Was that the first time you ever said it
I
aloud?
was, yeah,
That's where the real deal kicks in.
I had ever been or attended an NA meeting, and it was done in the same format as they do on the outside, in the streets, as they say.
Outside.
And yeah, because I went to plenty of them after the fact and maintained that, and still pop in intermittently now, but. That was something that it really was accepting the fact that I have a problem and there's a name for it. And apparently there's a whole self-discovery process of why I do what I do. And there's people around me like me. So
what about you, good sir? Like you broke into that emotion, like briefly.
So it didn't happen all at once. I mean, I accepted like that I needed to change. Like I had like that aha moment, you know. I like that was like the first part of it. Like I'm gonna die alone. We're accepting that. I need to make changes. So let's go to a meeting, right? So I'm like a fucking mess. I'm like, are these people going to judge me? I don't know anybody here. I don't know any people. I mean, my friend Corey met me. So like I knew one person. And it was like, I guess I accepted like after like the second meeting. I mean, I accepted the white chip there, but I mean, I really
I thought we was about to go somewhere else again. Like, damn, you traded me again, bro?
No, but I accepted like after like the second meeting, like I'm doing this. I'm gonna this isn't like it was like a transitional of like I'm fucking terrified, and I mean I was terrified to okay, fear's gone. I desperately want what all these people have. They've got years of sobriety, and they still look like they're having a good time. Like, that really kicked in when, like, you can be sober and not be a square. When I met my friend Calvin, like, I've been reaching out. Like, my friend Corey's cool, but it's like, he was doing his whole motorcycle thing, but so I didn't really feel like I had anybody like I was really connecting with. And so like when I did meet Calvin, I was like, damn, this motherfucker's got swag. He's doing hood rat shit with his friends. He can still have a good time. That's the shit I want to be doing. So I was like, he was like, I mean, like for real, like all the shit that I wanted to be doing, he was doing. You know what I mean? Like I hadn't seen it in a lens of like sober people still do this shit,
Right?
Like
you gain some sense of inspiration.
Yeah, it was fucking cool because like everybody I initially looked at in the rooms, it's like I really can't relate to these people. I really can't. I mean, we have a similar issue, but I don't like. There was no real fucking connection. I mean,
right.
I heard their story. I felt their story, but it wasn't like bonding. You know what I mean?
No, I get it. You know, and I asked for a reason because on one of the previous episodes I talked about, you know, the client that I had that kind of like moment with when they said, you know, I drink because I just like getting fucked up. And the response to everybody, you know, you read a few of them, Uzzle.
Horribly read.
Yeah, horribly read, but we'll work on that, man. It's all good. No judgment from me, man. And the responses were so great that the next time I spoke with them, like I utilized a lot of what was read and received. And I believe that we had a moment when we were speaking and I kind of realized like they just haven't reached that point yet. You know, that point that you all just described where, you know, no matter what I feel, the fear, the anxiety, the sweat, you know, the uncomfortability, unmanageability, just to go in here and say, hey, fuck it, I'm done. Let me just turn this over because I can't control it. Like accepting that it is an issue. Clearly, like if I tell you I just still like getting fucked up, that's why I do it. Life just hadn't slapped you hard enough yet. But the next time we talked, it was like a breath of fresh air because they were like, yo, I threw my hands up and I'm ready. And I'm like, yo, that's so awesome that you reached that point. So I know for me, when I reached that point, I didn't find it in the rooms, man. I got more of like what you felt and not connecting. Because maybe I just attended the wrong spaces. But the meetings that I did go to, it always felt like I was still pressing to fit in. And that's what I was trying to escape.
Yeah, like
You know what I'm
I
saying?
felt like that. Like, only commonality we had, period, was our alcoholism.
Bro, I'm
That's
telling
it.
you.
It's like this.
Like,
I can relate. That's it. Like
it was
that
like
shit sucks. Like
that
it really-
meeting after the meeting shit. You know, I'd see everybody kind of go off into their cliques. And I would like stand around for a minute and like wait. Like, all right, I'm like a fucking sick puppy. Like, yo, who can I talk to? Like, who do I? Like, yo, fuck this shit, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? So I never like was even able to build a bond and relationship in there, and that's probably why a lot of my recovery came like solo dolo from people that I just was able to interact with, because that was a huge part of my addiction. Like, identity wise, like just looking for a lot of people for shit to do. And I didn't want to do that no more. Like, I wanted to be around people that I could grow with, learn from. Maybe we would share some of the same experiences and have some type of bond in that level. But the rooms were like uncontrollably hard for me, yo. So I don't know. I have been doing some step work because I never. You all right, bro?
Yeah.
All right.
I was watching the level this shit was like
Peaking.
yeah.
I never did all the steps. I think I made it to like step 4 a couple times, and then classic Jared, I would run because shit, like I don't like revisiting a lot of painful shit and like uncovering it and having to, Continue. What are you laughing
That's
at?
I mean, like that's the whole like purpose of it growing. Like you
Yeah.
have to sit in
I
that shit.
fucking know.
Yeah, bro.
You know what you said really got me on a whole tangent in my head when you
Same.
said accepting that I die alone. Because we were accepting a lot of things before we accepted that we had a
But like
problem.
the cool part.
Listen, I accepted that I was not going to be in any meaningful relationship. I accepted my health was suffering. I accepted I wasn't, formulating any honest bonds, and the people that I knew were, people who were trying to cop or were selling to me. I accepted the fact that I wasn't able to show up mentally. I accepted the fact that the plans I had and the dreams I had were getting put farther and farther on that back shelf. I accepted, that I wasn't the whole white picket fence and happily ever after wasn't for me. I was okay with that. Like, I had learned to accept that. I accepted that I was in a relationship with a needle, and that's pretty much the only commitment that I could own every single day.
So like,
And
That's
I-
deep.
when
But
I think
like,
about it,
so
I
like, the
accepted
beautiful
a lot
part
of
about that-
things well before I found it scary to
Yeah.
accept that I had a problem.
but now like the
Yeah.
progression of it, right? Now we've accepted the responsibility to talk about our stories, right? We've accepted that we're here. This is the lifestyle we're living, and we're willing to help people. We've accepted a lot more responsibilities other than just caring for our motherfucking selves.
I
Like we,
accept that I,
it's
have
like it's kind of
options today, and that I now have
come full circle, kind
a
of wild.
whole different arena to get excited about, to dream about, to have goals and to aim for, to have great experiences and opportunities and people, to really, interact with. That is my new acceptance today, to be of help and to be of service.
Yo, that's so awesome. Like, to sit back, right, and view my life and to think that I had this plan, like, all the way mapped out. Like you said, I'm accepting I don't have the white picket fence and all of this stuff, right? I don't know if I said this on here or not yet, right? But acceptance can go, like, a long way. And in high school, I'm sure they asked everybody, like, where do you picture yourself in 5 years? Just kind of like to map out, like, where you want to be in life, right? So, of course, the first answer was 5 years after graduating, I'm going to graduate college, have a career, maybe buying a house and all this shit. So that 5-year mark hit, and I was in jail, in a group meeting, in the, like, AA thing in jail. And when it came around, they asked a question in there, like, in the group. And I remember, like, of course you can't cry. You know what I'm saying? But I was like I was about to turn 22, and I was just sitting around, and I was like, it's crazy that, that question came up, because 5 years ago I was asked, and I said I was going to, graduate and have a car and a house and all this other shit, but I'm sitting in jail with y'all. 5 years from now, I'd like to think I'd have life put together. Fast forward 5 years from that point, is when I tried to commit suicide. You know what I'm saying? And I literally, damn, tongue tied, sitting in the hospital that day, that moment, like, hit me. And it was like, all right, 5 years from now, what does life look like? And I carried that. So it was accepting, like, I am where I am today, because of everything that I've been through. And it's okay that my life didn't go how I planned it, because it's not on my time. Like, none of this shit is on my time at all. And I'm living on borrowed time, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I know you had spoke about, something beforehand. We ain't touching that. I'm just saying, like, it all reminds me that, man, whatever is designed for my life and whatever it is that I'm, like, seeking and accepting that's coming my way, we got to go. Because I don't know when time is up. I just don't. Russ, what you got, bro?
Yeah, so with your acceptance on that topic, you had kind of touched on it. You all touched on it going to first AA. You just felt like an outcast is what I got. And gathered and everybody dispersed. I was seeing if y'all could touch on that a little bit more for somebody that's going through that. And that vulnerability is what I was picking up, and the insecurities of what direction, what's the instruction, because they already have this instruction and foundation about attending these meetings weekly, so they already have this foundation. But for someone new, what really helped them for your first meeting and going into that versus looking like a sad puppy dog and like, well, I'm here and doing the right steps. Maybe if I show up again and watch from the sidelines of, oh, this is the process versus, all right, I go to my first meeting, this is what I should look for to better help me, because people weren't there to help me on that first meeting.
So the question is...
But that's the whole thing. That's the beauty about it, right, though? Like,
I would say the first thing as newcomers is you shut up, you pay attention by listening, and you find a sponsor. That is that person who's going to start, be your beacon, who speaks to you.
I say make friends first, because granted, you do need a sponsor, but to first person you meet in a meeting may not be the person you connect with.
I was solo dolo.
Fuck,
They thought I was a college kid taking notes, and I didn't belong there. I found out much later.
Was this
later.
in the facility or like in the street?
No, in the streets.
In
when
the
I
street.
was going to meetings every day, they didn't think I was one of them. I didn't look like the typical one of them. I didn't talk like the typical one of them.
Well, that's the beautiful part about it. There's supposed to be no judgment.
Right, but that I was in its own way. But I persevere. I always check the room. I'm okay to not necessarily be always one of them everywhere I go.
So part of that, would you agree, is that you have to accept in your mind, and acceptance, like, I have to own this at the end of the day. I have to own this
It's all part of the
situation, and
process.
take that first step about, I did this.
Yeah.
Now what am I going to do about it? Versus, I can be present in the meeting, fine, but have I mentally accepted, okay, now I got to address my consequences for this next chapter of my life?
Do you listen to Taylor Swift? Okay. Then I don't need to recite the lyrics for you.
Are you going to do it?
No, I'm not. I did it last time. We were not going to play it out.
Yeah, I know you want
It's
to.
me. Hi.
But that's like everybody's journey is different, right? We all went to different meetings. We all had, but like the hardest part is walking through the fucking
Just
door.
showing up.
Yeah, it really is. Just
So like
showing
if
up.
you get there, you're gonna be uncomfortable because it's all new. You're scared. But if you've gotten that far, I think
Half
you've
the
gotten.
battle's
You're willing to
already
take
over,
the
yeah.
chance.
Yeah.
You're willing to meet new people. But like if you're not there yet, that's a different story. If you're hemming and hawing about going, are you? Now that I have to ask you another question, it's like, are you ready? Are you ready for the change? Are you ready to accept my life is no longer in control? And
I guess I was humbled enough to get to that point to say I will do whatever it is they say I should do. If it's a meeting every single day, if it's doing my step work, if it's checking in with my sponsor every day, if it's, immediately getting a job, if it's checking in, my sponsor after my job, if it's, whatever community service, whatever I need to do, I was at that point to say it can't be any worse than what I've done to myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so just taking suggestion, and then learning to even go broader than that, which is what I find beautiful in this room with Jared and Uzzle. We push beyond what traditional meetings say. I wanted to find that, self-help, self-discovery concepts and a lot of different strong individuals who have nothing to do with recovery, but who are successful in their own right. and really, listen, what keys to success, challenge myself, in a broader picture, get into college, start doing well at works, being a, mom who showed up all the time, and, and I live for my kids. So, these are things that it all comes, but it does take that one step, getting into that meeting and saying, I'm fucking uncomfortable. I don't know. It was like, yep, right at home. This makes sense. No, it was never that. Ever. It's very cliquish at times. Sometimes the message can completely be diluted with unmanaged feelings in underdeveloped, emotionally intelligent people. There's many times the message was everything I don't ever want to get to the point of. And that's okay. That's a message even unto itself, and walk away. And many times it was, I needed to be here because I need to offer somebody some advice on that after the meeting. That it really touched my heart because I can relate, and let me tell you what I did in your situation, and that's, you just have to show up and see where the opportunity is going to present itself, and say, I am, I'm proud of who I am because nobody is holding my hands.
Right.
I'm doing this on my own. I don't care how many friends you make in there. You got to do it on your own. There's nobody who's going to pull your ass in and recover for you.
But that's the whole thing about this. Like, it's a 12-step program. It's literally a guideline to better your life. 1 through 12, right? You literally have to go from 1 to 12, right? And they say if you go through those 12 steps, you have bettered your life. And it's pretty straightforward. It's like it's not confusing. It's not. I mean, they read them at the beginning of every meeting. So if like you're curious about what they are, you can look into them. I mean, I brought them up on my phone. I don't think my reading is terrible.
Every I would say the most applicable in my
first
everyday.
step is
Hold on, bro.
Yeah, I would say the most applicable in my everyday that still comes up is the fact that, I realize I'm powerless over certain situations and I have to let that shit go. And that I take my 10-step inventory every night. What could I have done better today? How would I address something better going into the next situation tomorrow? Am I proud of myself in this moment today? How can I self-correct moving forward?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Always checking in with my behavior patterns has always been still key to my daily routines.
We was going to read the first step.
Yeah, so we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives have become unmanageable. That's step 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest step of it all, right? Maybe.
I believe so, because that's your starting point.
Yeah, you have to start somewhere. So, like, accepting that this lifestyle that you've been living is no longer working.
Yeah. I'm glad to have y'all's perspective on this, because to answer that question, bro, I'm on the complete opposite side. I didn't enter an AA room nor NA room until I was a year sober and some change. So walking in, my first meeting, I was getting my 1-year chip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude. So your perspective on it's like, but you already had a pretty good foundation as a person, right? You had the morals, you had the decent outlook, pretty positive, right? These are built for people who have none of that.
Yeah, no direction, no guidance.
Nothing. No, but not just that, but people that don't know how to adult.
Well, let me say, bro, I could have most certainly used the help. I just didn't know where to turn.
I'm just saying,
you know what I'm saying?
But I'm just saying, as a foundationally, right? A lot of these people have never, they started when 15 years old, and now they're 30, and have never grown up. They don't have any idea how to act in a fucking real world, right?
It's arrested development. Clinically speaking, that's arrested development, where we stop developing, the earlier we start, taking on substances. There's a lot of, that group therapy, if you will, that helps say, hey, man, that's not the right course of action, or just holding somebody accountable. They have a feeling they might not be doing something so right, and the group will be able to say, yeah, that's not right.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
But then it makes sense. I can answer my own question, bro. If I didn't go until I was a year sober, and now, I felt like the outsider, walking into that space, that's why I felt like I wasn't, fitting in. Most of the people in that room, I wasn't looked at as the newcomer. You know what I'm saying? I literally, my daughter was a couple months old, and I used to take her with me to the meetings. You know, and I would just sit off in the back and rock her little car seat while I would listen. And then I would stand around for a second and then peel, and one no handshaking, one no dapping up. So it just gave me the opposite feeling where I was like, yo, fuck y'all too. That was my like childishness of you know what I'm saying? Like,
you
now,
didn't put yourself out
hindsight
there.
is 20, bro, and I'm not good at that shit. Like,
So, but you can't fault them, though.
I'm not faulting them. I'm not. I'm just saying I could see somebody I know from high school sitting in the same room as me, bro. And if we make eye contact and you don't get up to come say what's up to me, then bro, I'm not saying shit. But that's kind of my vibe. If I walk by you, I'll acknowledge you. But I don't know, bro.
Who's to say they're gonna remember you? And how fucked up their heads not. Yeah, I've met some crazy people that I'm like, yo, this is not the person I remember.
Listen, there's a lot of people that know me, and I don't have a clue who they are.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So
But there's people that I used to be with every day, bro, and we could see each other. And if I don't shoot you one of these, then fuck it. So I think me going
that's
into
also your ego and your like.
I don't know, bro.
That's 100% your
Nah,
ego.
man. I just don't. I'm quiet.
That's
I'm
your
to myself.
ego. Like you're saying,
Yo,
I'm not gonna fucking take a chance.
I ain't fucking with nothing.
So that's your ego for holding the whole process up.
But bro, maybe. But in the AA meeting, bro, like y'all both said it can get really cliquish. So when I was a year,
But also, we've both gone to a meeting. Me and you've gone to a meeting where everybody was fucking awesome.
But I knew somebody in that meeting. Too.
Me.
No, like it was a dude. It was a dude there that actually fuck, I forget your name, sir. We took Aaron to it. Right.
I was at the
meeting.
men's one and I couldn't come in.
Yeah, well,
No.
This was a long time ago.
This was at my friend's.
We did bring a female there.
No, that I'm talking about
A different
the
meeting.
late night one. Me and you went to at my buddy's shop.
Oh, well, that was sweet.
See,
All right, never mind. But that was like my bad. I forgot all about that shit.
Yeah.
All right, I apologize.
everybody was super rad.
But even then, bro, like it was uncomfortable only because I hadn't been to a meeting in a while. Yes, that shit was sweet.
Yeah.
And I met some pretty cool people there. But before, like, there was one up the street here that I used to pull up in. And then the second that shit was over, like, everybody was in a circle. You know, and it just made me feel like, bro, I'm not walking into this circle and trying to, like, engage.
Because your ego wouldn't
And
let you.
it felt weird, bro. Maybe. It could be my ego, man. But it's like...
Because, like, how else would it not be? You're the one hemming the process, right? You're the, like,
right.
I don't know these people.
So
they're judging me. Yeah, uncomfortable. That's
for
the whole point
for
of
the
it.
newcomer that felt like I felt, Justin.
Just
how
do
how
it,
would
though.
they? So what would
All
they,
of it's
What
new.
would you say walking into that circle?
I don't know any of these people. I'm going to get to know everyone.
No, what would you say though?
What?
Like
I walk into the room.
no. In the
Hi,
circle
my name's
after
Justin,
the
I'm an
meeting, after
alcoholic.
the meeting after the meeting when everybody goes.
If you
this
like
way.
somebody, if you like somebody's point in the meeting, go up to them
Yeah,
afterwards.
yeah, that's
Hey,
how I found out.
I related to that.
That's what I meant,
connected with that. And then, hey, I'm Justin. I have 3 days sober.
There, thank you, man.
You know, like
So
there
that's what
is
I was
ways to
missing.
go about it, but also like if you're not really ready and
Ain't
you
my
don't
ego.
what?
Fuck off.
Feelings.
Go ahead, bro. Finish your point. My bad. I was checking myself because it might have been my ego, man.
I mean, like we went to, like I said, there's people out there that you can relate with. You just maybe that first meeting wasn't a good one.
And I kept going to the same ones. The one meeting, I will tell you, bro, was like the best
then-
one. I can't really say bro because there's a woman here, so madam. I went to one, but it was like I was off on Tuesdays then. So Tuesday I would just flip through the little book and I would go pick a meeting. All right, I'm gonna pull up here. So this was like at noon at some church, and I walked in, and there's all these like 70-year-old people.
That's my shit. I love
in
it.
a
I love
table,
that. I love
and then
that.
it was me, and I was like,
I love that.
Old
shit,
heads,
party.
Oh my God.
I love that.
That
Because,
was my
like,
best meeting, yo.
'cause, like,
I've always been so surprised when it's a bunch of older people, and then you hear the shit that they've done. They've got decades of shit that you've never begun to touch
Wow,
on.
shit, yeah, we
and
ain't
you're
did
like,
shit.
how are you alive? It's like
and I'm not even that, but they have like years of
Of
sobriety.
experience,
Yes.
yo.
They
That's
do.
what I'm
They have
like.
perspective.
I'm
at
like,
that point.
yes.
And that's
There
probably.
are people out here that they fucking made it out.
I think that was it too, man. Like I think I had seen so much of the shit that was going on with people my age. Like I wanted people that had lived through some shit that could tell me shit that I couldn't imagine. You dig? Like I'm like a fiend for history. So like I'll catch myself just sitting up watching that shit sometimes and just learning. So to walk into that meeting and listen to like their dialogue versus like, you know, this person that every time they showed up to this other meeting was like sob story. You know what I mean? They just couldn't stop, and everybody kept babying them. Like, yo,
Bro,
what the
there's
fuck?
a,
Like
that shit gets in. Like, there is like people out there that they're like one chip or like one chip wonders, right? They get their one chip, and they're like, everybody applauds. They love that. They love that feeling, and then they go out the next week.
It's like the reverse. Instead of feeling uncomfortable and instead of feeling like, you know, just small about the whole thing, they're like, hello, world. But they have actually no conviction to get sober. I have seen that. We've all had encounters with that. It was the same person like every 30 days or, you know, they're picking up their white chip again and to this day.
What you got? Hey, look, I like Kyle House engaging with the show, man. You are.
They're not gonna be able to hear him though.
All right. Well, then I'll repeat the question.
That's what I'm saying, like-
Go ahead, bro.
They're gonna be like, "What the fuck is he saying?" I can hear somebody in their car. What the fuck is Kyle saying?
I'm gonna repeat it, bro. I'm gonna try my best. Speak very loud.
So what Gina was saying off of that, do you think with getting that chip you felt the high of
Being
accolades,
accepted?
being accepted from your peers? You're like, wow, he or she is actually making a change, and I want that next chip because I want to prove these people right and wrong.
So I was locked up. They don't allow you to have freestanding pieces of plastic. So we were given white bracelets, and then you got, you know, the different colored bracelets we were allowed to have. But I would say that
But it's definitely
I didn't say that was a motivating factor for me. I was excited for myself when I got to a point. I don't think there was any particular person I'm like, man, I really want to be like them, because there wasn't. And that's okay. I looked around the room and said, I'm not quite like the others, you know.
I'm just happy to be here.
I'm just here, you know,
Yeah.
to figure out who I am in this process.
That's what's up.
And but yeah, that was something that you know, my sponsor had years relapsed, and relapsed. Had nothing to do with my recovery though.
I ain't gonna
you know?
front, yo. Like,
Some people might be posting it to social media for those likes and that gratification.
bro, we talked about that actually.
Instant gratification
Yeah.
is a part of addiction, you
Because
know.
if you're first,
you need the dopamine.
Yeah.
If you're first going into
But also,
sobriety,
like, if
it's
you think-
what am I trying to grasp?
But hold on.
Right.
There's two sides to that, because you have been
Flip a
shitting
coin.
on yourself for weeks now, right? Building up to this point.
Like-
And then finally somebody's like, hey man, we're fucking proud of you. You know how good that fucking feels? Really good. But
And it can be a good thing. It can
It-
be used
yeah,
as a
it-
good
it
you know,
kept me
source of
going.
encouragement. And there's others that it is not used
I was,
in a positive
again,
manner.
I was on the flip side of that shit, bro. Like the first time I tried sobriety, I was that person that needed the instant gratification.
Truly have to accept it first.
Bro, you gotta, speaking in I terms, I had to accept it, brother. I was making this change for me. Not my mom, not my dad, not my kids, not my ex, not friends, none of that shit.
They're here or not.
Yeah, whether you like me, support my new pathway or not, man, this shit is for me. Because the first time I tried it, I did it for everybody else. Like, yo, let me show them I'm not this person. That shit lasted maybe 30 days. And I was like the poster, like, man, sobriety's the best choice that I
I
made.
mean, I did the same shit.
And get in the, yeah, good job. And then a month later, I was
I was
back out.
I was like,
You know what I'm saying? But when I did finally go to the
I
meetings
came in
after,
like a wrecking ball.
oh, now we switching to Miley. Oh shit,
Bro, I was
Pod
like,
is
I
poppin'.
fucking went on a 3-week bender, bro.
so man, I think I just went.
I was
my
very
shit
much
was like
the
a year.
opposite. I was like poster child for living up and having a great time, and I was, you know, the life of the party or the fight of the party, you know, one or the other.
Congrats,
and,
Gina.
You know, when I got sober, and
Gina
I'm like,
said, these hands are rated for E for everybody.
but yeah, so you know, the crazy and the chaos, you know, that attracts
Pull
certain
up.
type of people. Yeah. So, but I kept it to myself. I got sober in a night, and I had to wait for a time to catch up because something clicked in my head, my heart, my soul, and I'm like, oh, I'm done with that. That's the old me now. And it was the weirdest experience I had in that night that occurred, because I didn't want to tell anybody. I just knew that I was I was
You
on a
was
different
done.
trajectory. I was done. And it was the weirdest thing. I was talking to my family because I was still on the run. And I had gone silent for a while because I was actually going through DTs and stuff. And they were worried. And
Bro, get the fuck out.
I didn't tell them, but they could tell through my speech, my voice, the way I was talking. They're like, something's different about you. So there was actually something I protected. I told nobody anything. I didn't want to explain myself because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Like, I just had this weird compulsion for something new and different, radically different from my life. You know, I didn't want to be me anymore. I didn't like me.
Yo, that's, again, beautifully and elegantly said. Because I, too, was in that space. Like, I didn't want nobody to know, yo. Like, I know, like, mad people was trying to get in touch with me, but I also was, like, off the grid. And I wanted it to be that way. Like, I just didn't want nobody to know where I was, what I was doing. Because I was going through so much shit personally and, like, you know, mentally. You know what I'm saying? I was dealing with a breakup. I was about to go custody battle with the kids. I was broke. You know what I'm like? It was a list of shit that I just was trying to figure out. So AA or NA and support groups, man, I didn't know about none of that. I just wanted to figure out who I was as a person. So therapy was like my go-to. That was my meeting. Like, I would go to see my therapist once or twice a week. He ended up plugging me in with, like, a spot to help me get a job. And life just started kind of, like, progressing upwards. So by the time I hit the meeting and got those chips, like, it did feel really freaking good to get applauded. You know what I'm saying? But then it was like, yo, damn, I did it by myself for a year already. You know, I feel like, low-key, like I'm stealing. You know what I'm saying? Because I showed up. These people didn't know me. Like, my first day, they was handing me a 1-year chip. And it was like, who the fuck are you? And that shit, it felt weird, but it was cool. But I don't know them. Like, I wanted people like, you know, my parents, bro.
I took my mom to my 1 year.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my people, like, that I never heard, like, I love you or I'm proud of you from. And I never got that shit.
Wow.
So it's still, bro, I don't know. Like, it ain't for me to figure out, but it still kind of hurt. Like, it felt good in the moment. Like, all these strangers, like, yo, good job, da-da-da. But I wanted that shit from people that rocked with me. And I didn't get it then. Now it's like, yo, I love what you're doing. Like, keep doing it. So in time, that whole realm and aspect changes too. Like, but why are you doing it and who are you doing it for? So
It should have never been about them, though.
It shouldn't have, man, but that come
But
with
it's all
growth.
about you.
Yeah, it come with growth,
I
though.
will say, though, my 1 year, you know, I showed up and I didn't really know what to expect. I just know that, you know, my sponsor had some words he wanted to say or whatever, but my entire family showed up. Other than
So
Chris,
I
'cause
took
we
my
weren't in
mom.
touch,
You
but
had one of those, like, home group, like, celebration
my
joints.
ex-husband showed up. My sister I
that's
didn't talk
sick.
to. My kids were there.
Round of
my
applause,
like,
yo.
and I was like, you know, then it got really weirdly like all eyes on me as I'm accepting, you know, a year, and I realized, you know, as much as it was mine to give and share in that moment too.
So you did it the right way. And that, like, that's, like, I find that to be so much more rewarding in, like, the mental aspect and the, like, gratitude aspect. You know, all it checks all those boxes for me. The way I did this shit, I just popped in, got it, and then went to a meeting the next day, got one. Went to the meeting the next day, got another one. You know what I'm saying?
Works, yeah, for the newcomer.
Yeah, bro, just, like, showing up, yo.
But you know what? That's after my first year in that like hoopla. That's all I ever do.
But, like,
I
sounds
just
like you
show up at
honestly-
a meeting. I pick up my tag, you know, because I do.
Chill out.
But it
NA
honestly sounds
versus
like
AA,
you just did it
and-
for yourself.
And yeah, and I just show up
Yeah.
and I
I
get
mean,
get it, and I leave. There's no fanfare. There's no nothing because it's for me today.
Low
you know?
key, bro. I did do it for myself when I entered that room. You know, it was a
I mean, think about it now. Like, you didn't have anybody with you. You weren't there to show anybody that you picked up a chip. So you only really did it for yourself.
yeah. I mean,
And then you could say, "Hey, I fucking did it.
I did. I wish I had them chips, man. I don't know where the fuck they are.
I gave all mine back.
Did you?
I kept my 1 year. I gave that back when I hit my 5. I got my friend Judy's 5-year chip. She gave that to me.
My homie Ghost sent me his 9-year chip, and that was pretty sweet.
I took my mom to my
wow.
1
Yeah.
year though. That shit was dope.
Did you? You took your mother? I
Yeah,
think
and then
you
we went to
spoke about it.
Buckheads.
Yeah,
That shit was dope.
yeah. You talked about that joint. I don't know, bro. I did all of that shit for myself, man, because I was just on like a search.
Then why do you
know?
need? You sound like you need this approval of people.
It's
in
part.
your-
It's part of my addiction, bro.
Well, that's
You
like not even your addiction. You need to fucking work on that shit with your family. You still haven't had that conversation.
Man, everything got a place to work itself out. Like,
But
I
I'm
ain't-
just saying, like it's an unfulfilled conversation. That's why it keeps coming back to the top.
Maybe. I mean, even right now, I don't need.
You don't think so?
Nah, not the approval. No.
No, I'm just saying you need to have that conversation of why the fuck isn't.
I don't want them answers,
I
bro.
disagree.
I
I think
don't-
it was
I mean, they
something-
keep clearly
something that was
bothering
once
him.
told
No.
to me that you will never get the I'm sorries for the breakups that tore you apart. You will never get the words that really explain the pain.
But even if you don't
You're
get the
never gonna
approval,
that.
you get to get
Bro.
off with the fuck you're
And it's
feeling.
okay to keep moving.
I could break down right now like somebody that has.
I'm talking about like your parents and shit. Like
all right.
I was talking about. I was mainly focused.
If
on
you
your
only
parents.
knew.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you said you wanted your people to be there, right?
Yeah, bro.
But
I mean, I think anybody would.
when it all comes back, like me coming back to run my
But
thought
look who's
process.
sober today and who has more time in this room today. It's you, Jared.
Yeah,
Salute.
who put this all together?
It's like
you did,
that
Jared.
Snoop Dogg speech, man. I want to thank me for waking up. I want to thank me.
Shannon Briggs has one. He's like, I want to thank myself
Yeah, bro.
for putting in this fucking work.
Straight up. I want to thank myself for choosing sobriety.
Uh-huh.
I want to thank myself for getting up every day and not fucking my life up no
Yeah.
more. Thank me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like everybody's like, God, right? God.
I thank God,
I
too.
thank God.
Yeah.
He's the one who did this for me. So there's no free will.
It's always free
He
will,
made you
bro.
drink that drink. Take that drink. No.
It gave me
Where's
free will.
he don't get the credit for that though. He don't get the credit for that. Nah, that's some bullshit.
Check this out, bro.
Nah, that's
I
some
see. I give him credit, man. And here's why, yo. Without me going through all of that, right? Through free will, that design in life, this podcast wouldn't be possible, right? The bond that I built with you, meaning you wouldn't be possible. Shit, probably not you. I knew him in the realm.
No, it would be because you put in the work.
Hey, bro. God gave me a sound mind and a heart.
No.
As long as I got
no.
a heart.
You had the willpower to change your life. You
Bro.
had the willpower.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna tell you straight up, man. I don't know what
So you're not. But that's why I hate this. Nobody gives them the credit that you rightfully deserve. You put in that fucking blood, sweat, and
I
tears.
did.
Not him.
I said thank me.
But that's what I'm saying. But everybody's like, everybody. I hate that shit. They're like, I thank God for all that. No, motherfucker, you did the work.
I
don't know,
know
bro.
that I didn't create the world I'm walking in.
Yeah,
You
I
know, I
think
can't take ownership of that. And for the experiences that have been rendered to me,
Somebody
I'm grateful
in-
to know
in-
that I am not alone.
yeah, somebody
in,
in control of this shit, bro.
'Cause
Like
they
what?
don't have the traditional belief system.
What you
so
started it with step one, man. What's step one? Admitting to like
I'm
a power.
powerless over
my addiction,
that
and what-
has become unmanageable.
What's step two? Like a power greater than myself. Was bro. That shit telling.
But that's
you.
all. This book's also revolving
It don't.
around the Bible.
But you did
But-
the steps, bro. It don't have to be. It's all.
doesn't mean you have to accept
It's
everything.
to
as-
me, it's perspective.
Yeah.
If you want to call it God, the water, universe, the sun, however you view it.
And it's not around the Bible. That's what it says, a power greater than, like the higher
they say
power
they
concept.
reference God 627 times in the big
Right.
book.
Well, by the time they got
Come
to,
on.
hold on. By the time they got to, because I have read that book. By the time they got to Narcotics Anonymous, it is solely a higher power that we're not
Yeah,
defining
that
it
makes
as a
sense.
God in a principle.
And that's what I'm saying,
and I'm
bro.
not saying anything.
I know
I'm
you're
just, I'm just.
That's your perspective, bro. You entitled to
I
that.
think people put in the work. I think they should be more proud of themselves than they give themselves credit.
And I believe the same, but I also believe that, man, somebody else been looking over me for a long time, my brother, because it's people that I lost doing the same shit that I was into, and somehow I'm still standing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that calm that I experienced sitting on that hospital bed, that was like, bro, it was a voice, soothing, soft, that hit me and said, hey, you got a second chance. Do what you got to do. Straight, man, the calm. That hit me.
No, see, but we're here.
Bro, I got
a
goosebumps.
nuanced
Here we
conversation,
go.
right? Like you always say, I manifest that.
I did.
So I
I thought if you're the way you're talking, God manifested, not you.
Bro, who is
when I
who
got
is your
sober,
creator,
it was
bro?
because it
I'm
was
just fucking busting
it was
everybody's
a
shot.
very out of here experience that I went through that night. That's why I got sober. So, and it was not. I couldn't have quantified it. Definitely wasn't creator of it. And from that experience, I have never had a drink since or a drug. So
And we all got to that
there's
point
always
differently.
something. You know,
Yeah.
we're not alone.
I applaud that, Sean. I agree, bro.
Coming to
Maybe
the club, shaking my dreads, both throwing these bows, busting these heads.
I think, dog, it's
How
it's,
many
it's up
energy
to
drinks are you on today?
your
Oswald?
perspective, man. Like, I don't know, dog. I call my higher power God. Like, I ain't
Why? Because my brain's all over the map.
as much as I
Singing.
thank myself, bro. I wake up every day and I thank God. Period.
That's cool. I'm happy. I mean, if God helped you through this journey, I'm happy. I'm happy that everyone is doing it.
You also have to, I think, also you have to recognize you have to take initiative to do it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the free will.
That's what I'm saying then.
You have to accept.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
All right, I gotta accept.
Oh no, I got you. That's the free will. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I got this over here for you, right? Life is designed. If you want to step into that fear, that, those feelings that you felt, the uncomfortableness to step out of what had been your life to this point, I got something for you here. But this is what you got to do to get here. And once you step into that lane of purpose and passion and faith and belief, bro, the whole program is built on hope and faith.
Yep.
You dig? Like, bro, that's like, you don't have to believe in like an existence of a realm to say like, yo, I got faith and hope that just for today, like I'm not going to use or drink it. Everything.
I
is
believe-
gravity,
this is
but
what
it
I
seems to be at work.
Word.
I believe that you believe, and that works for me.
Hey, and that's the bottom line of this shit. So as we begin to wrap up, man, what word of advice you got to the person that's searching for acceptance? Like, I'm not going to sing, I almost said Miley, but Taylor Swift this time.
Yeah, to accept where you're at, to accept there is a different direction, waiting just, one step into the right place. And it may not always be what you thought it should be. But if you can start with accepting that you have a problem and that you need help, you're far along that journey than you think you are, because that was one of the hardest pieces for me to understand.
That is a bar. You, sir.
Is it acceptance because you don't know how to go to the good side of it? Like, well, I know I need to do something about it, but I don't know how to do it, so I'm gonna just revert back to my old way.
Because you get complacent. You get complacent in your misery.
It's scary.
And so anything new, crazy enough, you could be, walking on the cliff's edge every day when you wake up, but you're used to that.
But yeah, you've also trained
So
your brain to like, this is what we
so
do.
getting uncomfortable, sober, nothing to mask, all your crazy emotions now that are just all unchecked all over the place,
Yeah, you jump to
and
your.
no mask to hide under anymore. It is scary.
You're scared, so you get
Yeah.
high.
And it
you're,
is.
You're sad, so
That
you
is,
get
it is
high.
a huge relief to finally get it up out of you and start to share and carry, give people the burden to help, carry with you. And that's what recovery does.
She's got the best verbiage. I can't wait till you write a book or some shit. Drop it on Audible. Your turn, Justin.
So
New book.
the beautiful
coming
part
soon.
about like accepting you have an issue, like the progression we've progressed into, now we're accepting the role of helping people or trying to help. We've gone from being selfish to selfless in a matter of a short amount of time.
Mhm.
And that's beautiful. Like, we've grown as individuals, and our stories and our media presence shows people that you can do this. And that's
Message.
pretty fucking awesome. So accepting you have a problem is the first step. And it was the best step I've ever made.
Yeah. Acceptance. My word of advice to the person struggling, looking for that way is, step one. What is that shit again?
I'm powerless over my addiction or alcohol, and my life has become unmanageable.
That literally is the basis of acceptance. You know what I'm saying? Start with where you are and know that there is a different life for you waiting on the other side. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol or addiction, that our lives had become unmanageable. Thank you, sir. Because I didn't want to butcher that. I'd get tortured forever. But it's just that, you know, starting with where you are and knowing that no matter how dark it may look.
Step 2 is, though.
What's up?
Read step 2. Comes back around to y'all's fucking point.
Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. I mean, super facts. We ain't gonna argue that, bro. I want to thank me first, though. But nah, yo, just accept where you are and know that life can get better. And you know what I'm saying? Like, we here to support you. I know 988 is a great resource. You can reach Justin, myself, or Gina at any point in time just to talk, shoot the shit, share your thoughts with us at Redeem Yourself Podcast.
So, kind of wild. I was talking to a young lady who...
Ooh, spicy.
No, so she used... Tell me how similar this sounds. She used to be a dancer.
Oh.
Used to be a heroin addict.
Oh.
She's clean.
This is heating
She has
up.
2 kids.
Where are we going?
Fuck. I was like, holy shit, that sounds like just like somebody I know. Right? Like, that's pretty spot on, right?
So,
I was like, she was like, it was the best thing I've ever fucking done. I was like, that's what I'm fucking talking about.
wait, what's the best thing?
Getting
Shirley?
clean.
Oh, okay.
It was just kind of wild. Like, the stories were like,
Nothing happened?
nothing. I was just saying, I wanted to say that earlier.
Gina, take us out of here.
Yeah. Fuck y'all.
Thank you all, and bye.
Fuck your body.
Saying how you feeling right now.